So here first we will discuss on different types of analog pulse modulation techniques. The first one is pulse amplitude modulation. So the pulse amplitude modulation means amplitude of carrier pulse will be varied in accordance to the amplitude of continuous message signal. As it is a type of analog pulse modulation, here the message will be analog but carrier will be a pulse. This is the first lab experiment we have done in the class. The simple way to generate natural samples by using a simple switch. Now look here. In this switch, one part you are giving the message signal. What is message? It is a continuous wave signal or it is a sine wave. Now carrier is a pulse. So carrier we are giving on the other part. Now see, this carrier signal will control the switch, whether the switch should open or close. So now when the carrier signal is high, think that the switch is closed. So when the carrier signal is high, the switch is closed. So that particular part message signal will be passed to the output, because when the switch is closed, this message will directly pass to the output. So at that particular moment, whatever be the amplitude of the message signal, that will come over here. Now when the carrier is 0, switch will be open. So nothing will be get at the output. So your output will be equal to 0. Now again, when the switch is closed, so the corresponding amplitude of the message signal will pass. So it will generate a natural sampled output. So this is a simple way to generate the natural sampling. So this slide already I explained to you. So now we'll move to the next slide. Next is flat top sampling. So flat top sampling means amplitude of the pulse will be equal to the amplitude of your message signal. The top samples of the pulses, top part of the pulses will remain flat, which is equal to the start of the sampling value. Normally, flat top sampling will be generated by a sample and a hold circuit. Now, width of the pulse in flat top sampling is increased. Normally, transmission bandwidth will reduce. So, now we will see how the flat top sampling will be generated. So this is the sample and hold circuit. So here the input signal, that will be the sinusoidal signal, or we can say this is the message signal MT. So that we will apply here. Then you have two switches, S1 and S2, and a capacitor. The switch S1, see this is controlled, say for example this switch S is controlled by your carrier pulse. So you have a carrier pulse over here. This switch is controlled by your carrier pulse, CT. Carrier is represented by CT. Now, see when the carrier is high, the switch is closed. So when the switch is closed, what will happen? Once the switch is closed, which point this carrier is high, that particular part message signal as such, it will pass to the capacitor. Capacitor will start charging. How much the capacitor will charge? The capacitor will charge till the amplitude of your message signal. How much is the maximum amplitude of the message? Till that it will charge on this time where switch is closed. That means carrier pulse is high. So After that, the switch will remain open. S1 will open because carrier is high. Now the carrier become low. Now, this capacitor will hold that charge. How much the voltage value this capacitor is charged, it will hold it. Now, at this moment, the switch S2, so you can take the output. The output will correspond to that particular value. The output will correspond to that particular value of your message signal. And then the switch S2 is closed. Then whatever charge it is holded, it will discharge to ground. Given provided that the capacitor is now discharge all the stored charge. Again, the next carrier pulse comes. The switch S1 will close. The capacitor will charge the corresponding message signal value, and then the capacitor will hold that charge. Even the switch S1 is open, the capacitor will hold that charge, and then we will be getting the corresponding sample signal as the output. Now switch S2 is closed, then the capacitor will start discharging. So once it is discharged completely, the next pulse of carrier, again S1 will close. So this will continue. So this is the way we are generating a flat top sampled signal by using a sample and hold circuit. Sampling is done in the switch, holding is done by this capacitor. So it is a sample and hold circuit. These steps already I explained with the circuit itself, so I'm not repeating again that. Just go through it when you are reading it. Now this is the figure. So here, see, this is the moment where your capacitor is, this is the moment where your switch S1 is closed. So that capacitor will charge till this amplitude. Then the capacitor will hold this charge for the time period of tau second. And then the capacitor will discharge. Again, switch S1 will discharge through the switch S2. Then switch S2 will again open. Then switch S1 is again closed for the next carrier pulse. Again the capacitor will charge till this amplitude. So this will be the continue. So this is your modulated signal. You can see here the difference between natural sampling and flat top sampling. Here the top part is flat. Here the top part is flat. But in natural sampling, the top part preserves the shape of your message signal. So that is the difference between flat top and natural sampling. Now, disadvantages of pulse amplitude modulation. So the bandwidth of the modulated signal is large compared to bandwidth of signal. So normally bandwidth of modulated signal will be large compared to bandwidth of the signal for a PAM. So that is the main disadvantage of pulse amplitude modulation. Also, the amplitude of PAM pulses changes. The interference of noise is maximum and cannot be removed easily. See, when because noise also we will term in terms of amplitude. So when this is itself you are PAM itself you are identifying with the difference in the amplitude of pulses. So with the noise the amplitude goes low, or with the noise the amplitude of the pulses become high, output modulated signal pulse become high. So you will you cannot reconstruct the original signal back. So that means it is more pronounced to noise. So pulse amplitude modulation will be having more noise interference compared to other analog pulse modulation schemes.